and not very much, I believe until today, I don't know how things now, but they're like not very much on the whole energy side of things. So I combined both, for instance, with fruits and vegetables, especially with vegetables, not overcooking them. So, because when you do that, when you over chop or when you overcook, you're destroying the energy of the nutrient and the energy of the food that you're cooking. So techniques like, we talk about the paleo diet and so many diets out there, but technique of less processing the food, learning to use temperature in processing less around the food. It's important because then you have a more nutritious um, ingredients and food around you. And it's important because by doing this, you're conscious, you're actually connecting with whatever you are preparing. So when you're building that connection, so your body, your cells, the 50 trillion cells that make up you as a human, they are connecting with your conscious mind, because in this moment you are conscious, and they're preparing your body for receiving that nutrient. So I think it's important, a little bit of understanding on some techniques, so that you can get most of what you are consuming.
So I have a question. So you basically, when your client comes to you, you of course you talk to that person and you like make a special menu, or teach that person how to eat and what to eat and what the person is looking for. For example, there's a lot of people that do a lot of exercise. They need to consume more stuff. Some people are not too much do a lot of exercise, so they have a different kind of food. This is exactly that you do.
Yeah, so every client, it's a very unique approach, because they will have different understanding around food and what they need to achieve in their body in terms of goals. So the consultations always last, the first consultation always lasts roughly between 90 minutes and 120 minutes, because I need to understand what the client knows around nutrition. And the key thing is nutrition never comes first. And that's something I learned myself. Uh, because before the nutrients do something to your body, it's important to understand what your mind, what your understanding of who you are, what you're doing here, what kind of thoughts you're processing are already doing to your body. So then the nutrition comes after, and depending on what the goal of the person is, let's say a sports person, yes, he or she is going to have a specific requirements to the kind of activity that they do. So I need to know, for instance, the frequency of their activities, timing, so we can adjust, because it's not only about macronutrients, things like protein, fat, and carbohydrates, and then the vitamins and minerals. It's the whole process, what they already consume, what is their understanding already around food, and then incorporating nutrition, mental health, and this comes the concept of quantum science around binaural beats, around learning how your body produces and utilizes the whole chemistry that we put inside via food, but also that we produce with the connection with the pineal gland in all our organs, and then working on that basis, so that the person will have a broader understanding around themselves and the environment, because it's the sunlight that has an impact, the moonlight that's going to have an impact on hormonal production, the air you're breathing, the quality of the air. These are external factors, right? What you're seeing, do you live in the countryside? Do you live in the city? What is the image that you're processing? How is that making you feel? And then nutrition is one aspect of these many others. Then how are you translating everything into your well-being? And then I understood that we could achieve greater results that would turn into habits, because then we become aware. And the key message is, how aware are you? The awakening, feeling who you are. And then it's wonderful because it translates into a power, mental power, that then I started understanding the whole magnetic thing, the electromagnetic field around, then around food, around the air you breathe, and so on.
Wow, that's incredible. So that is really all encompassing. Right. And I think I love that you said that, because a lot of the people that we bring onto the show, we're all talking about awareness, right? This is like the common thread of almost every guest that we bring on here, and about being self-aware. So understanding your mind and being aware of what you need and what's going on in your environment, all of these factors play a role in your nutrition.
Oh, definitely, yes. Because then back to university, you have the concept of the nutrients, how you're taking them, you have enough of food, or you're getting from supplements. The thing is, imagine if put us, let's get an ordinary person that came to the office because they're really stressed and they know that they need to change their nutrition. They have kids at home, and they want to live longer, and they don't want to rely on pills, and then or any medicine later in life. And you already see the the degree, the level of stress, anxiety, and you can name the many conditions that the person comes to. And if you only focus on the food and you don't realize what's going on within you, it's like a car that is very old and you have never taken the car to the revision. You can put the best petrol, but at some point it's not going to work, and has nothing to do with the quality of the fuel you put it in, but the whole body, the mechanics of the car. So how are you treating your body? And it's amazing because we have so many that's why I love science. It's because we can get data to understand what's working at biological level. And then there has been an amazing research just published a few days ago on BBC, talking about the nocebo effect of statins. I think it was statins, yeah, to lower cholesterol. And then the nocebo effect was looking that 90%, and it's irrefutable that they said, the British Heart Foundation and Imperial College, that the results were too convincing for them to deny that. So 90% of the people who develop illness because they don't believe that the pill is going to work, it's not actually because of the pill, but because of their mindset. They believe that
Wow.
the pill is not going to work on them. 90% of the illnesses come because of their belief. So then, how about the placebo effect?
Yes, I
Yeah.
know about
Yeah.
that.
So how is your mindset? Because if the drug is not, the receptors in your cells, you're not getting the message from the drug, so then is your mindset who's changing, because you don't believe, you think it's going to make you feel ill rather than, lower your cholesterol, and then other the secondary symptoms come. So how are the amazing nutrients, amazing diet going to help you if your mindset's not there? So that's the key thing. And what I learned is that when clients would come to the office, they would translate to me the duty of changing their lives in terms of nutrition. So their belief was not in themselves, but in me. But I cannot do that. I don't have that power. I can influence, but I cannot trigger the change. So then was amazing, because I went through pain, I went through depression, I went through everything, and that has brought me to learn what I possibly should be doing to help.
It's very interesting that you mentioned that, because when people are depressed or people have anxiety, they tend to eat. And they think they're eating healthy, organic. They think that's not gonna do anything to me because I'm eating healthy, I'm eating organic. But they're eating there are stuff that are not good for the body, for the mind. And they probably maybe some foods they trigger the anxiety, and some food they trigger other stuff that the person not aware. So I love that you go with the client and check what's going on first before you start looking into the food.
Yes.
Yes, and it's really important because otherwise you can't understand the power of food if you don't understand the power of yourself first. It's essential. And the client might leave not feeling helpful, but in some point the person will wake, and then he or she will be ready to move on and take the first steps.
Well, that's true because I happen to know, like, if you're not ready, if you're not for any of this stuff, any transformation, if you're not ready to receive the information, then it's not going to help you at all. It's exactly like the study that you were just talking about with the statins. So if you don't believe that this is going to help, and you're not aware that you have full control over the result, that it all starts here in your mind, then you're not going to get any result. You're going to manifest what you believe. And so if you believe that, if you have that belief that this is probably not going to work, it's not going to help you, I can't do what she's telling me to do, that pervasive belief is going to keep you from your success. Period. We see it all the time at London Real with my students. It's more than just teaching a course. It's also a mindset and
Yeah.
helping to make that connection and flip a switch in the mind in order to get people to keep moving forward. And sometimes they don't. And I see